What are you doing?
I don't know anymore.
All right, go.
Good morning, everyone. Did you start this video already?
No.
No. Okay. Here we are. We're in the shop. We got two crazy mascots running around, wrestling each other. Two crazy crackheads. Small little issue is the thermostat is not working properly, so the heat is constantly kicking on and off, on and off, on and off, and sometimes powering off. When it's on, it heats the shop really, really good. We bought a new thermostat. A digital one. This is basic, but this is just your basic analog thermostat. Every time we open and close this door, because the heat's in there, it turns the thermostat on and it's working too much. It's going on off a billion times. I think we're gonna move the thermostat over.
Yeah,
right?
Somebody told us to move it.
We don't want to put it right where the heat's coming out.
Yeah.
But we want to put it somewhere over here maybe, so it's not like the draft isn't hitting it right here.
We're going with this one too because when we're like overnight, the shop only takes about 5 minutes to heat up. Overnight, we don't need to burn all that fuel heat in the shop. So we're gonna set it on a timer so that it heats it kind of when we're showing up, and then it turns off when we're leaving.
It's crazy. Everyone watching, if you have dogs, they do this.
Yeah,
all the square footage in the shop they have to play, or all the square footage at your house or my house, they have to be right next to you in your feet. She's a puppy. She's always about 5. Luna just turned 1 yesterday.
Yeah.
She just wants to just chew and chew and chew, and Zoe wants nothing to do with her. It's like a dog years, a 35-year-old playing with a 7-year-old. The 7-year-old's just constantly biting and nipping. Who reads directions, right?
See, when you pull this off, there's only 2 wires on this thing.
Yeah.
Pull it through, and then just be careful right there. There it goes, it clicked. Let's see, is it working? I hear it.
If I was Zoe, I would just knock her out.
Yeah, Zoe can. Zoe weighs like probably double what Luna weighs actually, even though they're the same size. He's all muscle. Luna's skin and bones.
Skin and bones. Come here, Luna. Come here.
There it goes.
Yeah.
It's working, right? Yeah, I feel it. All right, good.
Now it's time to get to work.
Yes. That's good. Hopefully the door shuts. The inside's nice.
The cross members are there. They're not. It's just the front of the cross members right here is shot. See the?
Oh yeah.
That floor
actually is. The interior, the dash is really clean. The seats are in good shape.
It's
It's
got
good.
nice wheels.
Good tires on it. Well, that one's a mismatched tire, but the other 3 I believe are good. But so this truck has a really nice stainless steel Fisher plow that came with it.
Yeah, Fisher Minute Mount 2.
And it's 7.5 feet.
7.5, which is weird for a truck.
This, like this.
It works, I think, for a single cab. When you're making turns, you don't want to drive over the snow that you missed. A 7.5 for an extended cab's a little bit short, I think. Just for the length of the truck, when you're plowing, you're turning, your rear wheels are going to drive over the snow that the blade didn't get. It still works, you're just doing straight pushes. But either way, that plow is no longer going to be with this truck. So the plow will be for sale separately, but we're gonna yank the mount off and the wire harness. And I mean, it's really clean. I don't think we should have to cut bolts like crazy. It looks pretty not rusted.
Yeah.
I see the bolts right there and the ones coming up. But guess what? We'll get this on the lift. We'll pick it right up, pull the bumper off, and then we'll pull the mount off.
Lunchtime. Did you eat the popcorn? You ate the popcorn? Sure. We got the plow mount off and the wiring. And whoever had this thing, whoever put this harness on here, would they do something funky with the lights? Had it, what was it, wired into the cigarette outlet or whatever?
They ran speaker wire, like for surround sound.
Yeah.
Is it still here today? It's right here.
Yeah.
They ran this speaker wire through the truck to the plow lights, and you would plug this into the cigarette lighter. It amazes me what people do. We think we've seen it all. We're probably gonna come across something crazy in the next truck we do.
Yeah.
Why not just fix the plug for the plow itself? Instead of going into the headlights and running this wire, like hot wiring it from the power source, the power terminal, I guess, inside the lights, down, and then every time they unhook the plow, they had to unsplice. I mean, if you're gonna do it, put a connector.
Yeah.
Don't put a wire.
Not.
Yeah, every time you have to unhook the plow, you gotta take this nut off and plug this stupid thing in. When that's plugged in and those wires were sitting here, it's hot. It was sparking up against the frame.
Yeah.
It's too nice of a truck to be rigging it up like that. If it got the job done, maybe it happened in the middle of a storm and they had no lights and they said, you know what, screw it. We'll just hot wire it real quick. But then when the winter's over, fix it.
Yeah.
This was just laying on the ground in the truck. And once again, if someone plugs it in, if you got hot juice coming out of this end of the wire here, who knows if it started touching stuff while you're driving. But once again, it was whoever truck this was before us, they can do whatever they want with it because it was their truck. But it's just weird what people do to get by.
The V10's all wrapped up, and we got another V10 coming in. This big F350, too big of a truck. What are you doing?
I don't know anymore.
Unfortunately, the truck did not make it into the garage. So we have another plan, but it's gonna happen tomorrow because we're ready to go home. It was really close.
It's really close. We're thinking we have they're 16-inch wheels, right?
Yeah.
Even when you take the air out of the tires, you still got another, 2 inches between the rubber and the rim?
Yeah.
Like the rubber on the ground of the tire to the rim. We need like an inch. So we're thinking we have 2 junk rims at home that are 16-inch rims. It sounds crazy, but it's 20 degrees outside. And in the morning, it's like 10.
Yeah.
So it's cold and it's not worth doing all this stuff to this truck outside. So we're gonna take 2 junk rims off the back, for the back. We're gonna take the 4 wheels off the back, bolt the 2 rims on, 1 on each side, and lower it down. And we don't need these rims. We've been saving them for something. They're just junk. Yeah. And roll it in on the rim. By pushing it with the skid steer. The front 2 tires can stay on because it's already through. Then the back will sit down probably 2 or 3 inches below. I think it'll roll right in.
Yeah, and then we can get it up a little bit on the lift.
And we don't care if it messes those rims up because we're going to put them in scrap anyway.
Yeah.
It just stinks because why build the garage? The lifts go to the ceiling. The ceiling's this high, but they only make the garage door this high.
Yeah, and there's plenty of room for it to go up.
Well, even just one door needs to be higher than the other ones. We can use the middle one for all pickup trucks or vice versa. Use this for pickup trucks and make one door higher. That's what I did at my first house. The first thing I did when I moved in, I didn't set up my furniture. I put a new garage door in to be able to pull the dump trucks in. And Jim, you don't know this, but I had the dump truck in here over the weekend.
Oh, really?
It up with scrap.
It fit?
It fit easily because it's not like the enclosed bodies over the cab. It's not like a ton. Lengthwise, it was tough. The dump body almost touched the piece of wood for the door to shut.
Yeah.
But it was in here. So that's a good sign for lengthwise to be able to work on those things if we ever have to do a transmission or something. But I was doing scrap metal, so I backed it in to open up the side door so I could load everything up because it was really cold. we're just going to continue this tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been kind of cut and piece this video. There's been a lot of projects going on.
Well, guess what? We'll end it here. We'll snap our fingers and we'll be bringing the truck in. Ready?
Yeah. Well. Wow. That's impressive.
Well, that just saved us a ton. It totally beats doing it. The summertime will be nice. We can do it right there. It'll be shady. Probably what, April through October?
Yeah.
We would just do this outside.
Yeah.
If it had to. We made it.
We made it.
Took 2 wheels off and it's running on flat tires, but it's in the shop and the heat can run, so.
We'll be good in here. That's pretty wild. And look at how much, it could still go up another like 4 feet with the lift at least, right?
It's so stupid. If you've got a shop in here with a lift that can go up all the way to the roof, why not make the entrance to the garage all the way to the roof?
Yeah.
So you can fit the vehicles in here. This truck's not that big.
It's not that big.
It's not like we're talking like a big giant box truck, like a moving truck. This is just a regular old plumber's truck. And if someone was dropping it off for the old people that had this place, have it replaced, fixed, they had to do everything outside. It just doesn't make sense. Why not spend the extra couple bucks for an extra 1 length of garage door?
Yeah.
To be able to fit everything you want in here? That's just crazy, but whatever.
All right, so now we have the heat cranking. This truck's gonna be on pause for about a couple hours while we strip this truck, clean this, clear this bay out, get this one done, and then we'll focus and finish the day on fixing this, and hopefully we'll get it started. But bumpers. Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing we did to that blue truck. This thing's gonna be out of here by the end of the day, and it's not gonna look anything like this anymore. We already started it a little bit, but it's crazy how it's crazy seeing one of these trucks like disassembled pretty quickly. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it stinks too, because this truck just needs an engine.
Yeah, it does, and it's unfortunate. It's a gas engine. It's really not worth replacing just based off the market value.
For us to replace it.
Yeah, yeah.
If we were to buy a remanufactured engine, we'd be looking at what, 8 to 10 grand? And then installing it, and the truck's only worth 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Or if we found the used motor for 500, God knows what's wrong with that engine.
Yeah, I would never put a used one of these.
A used gas motor, I would never mess with. If it was a 7.3 for 500 bucks, we could literally make it run by peeing in the gas tank.
Yeah, but these things are...
Exhaust bolts and the spark plugs are breaking off in the head and stuff.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
And timing and all that crap. It's not worth it.
It comes down to profit, regardless of what business you're in at the end of the day. Hey, come and swap this thing. By the time we get the motor and go through the whole thing, like to sell it, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, it's an extended cab too.
Money-wise, it makes sense to take the rust-free parts off and to sell them.
Yeah. For somebody else to use. And then, all right, let's get on time lapse and let's get working.
Made it. Thank God it's only a 10-minute drive.
Made it.
Dang, I thought this thing would just close perfectly. Like it would fit. Even if the tires were another inch up, it still wouldn't shut.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think in the video yesterday, or in this video yesterday, this is the biggest thing that's going to be on here.
Yeah, I said that on TikTok.
I can't deal with these people.
It's going in the video. Steve's phone's been ringing off the hook this morning. But anyways, for all these people who are making fun of my little winch setup, well, guess what? It worked. It pulled this thing on. It doesn't run. And it did it easily. It didn't bend the metal. And this is the heaviest thing. Like I said, we're probably going to pull up onto this trailer. And it should be fine. I mean, honestly, it'll be fine. If it starts bowing in the middle, I'll reinforce it one day. But until that happens, I'm just going to send it. I think it's going to work fine. You got to keep in mind, these things aren't, we're not pulling trucks onto this trailer. It's just little stuff. That's a whole lot of rear end for this trailer. It's little 5x8 with the dualies with these Alcoas. It's what it took to get it done. I like driving this truck everywhere, so it's obviously it's not made to tow heavy. It's short. It's not practical at all. It's just a fun truck. But for little things like this, hey, it's fine. It'll work. So while we're on the topic of this truck too, I can't help myself but instill a little teaching moment about these coil spring front ends. Obviously this truck is a 7.3, and you can see it's got the coil springs under it, which is not factory for four-wheel drive. So the conversion I did is actually, you can almost see what I did by looking at what we got in the garage here. So if you look at this, this is basically what's sitting underneath my truck out there. The yeah, because I cut it. There's a seam in the frame right here. It's not cutting. There's like a factory weld, but it cuts, and this whole front section slides out. And if you have the right tools to like pull the motor and get all that stuff, and you could slide it back into your existing frame, or you can drop the axle with the buckets and line it up to your existing.
You did it twice, though.
I did it when I first did the conversion, and after I crashed the truck, I rebuilt the.
You bent one of these.
Yeah, I bent one of the frame horns when I crashed. It was this one, so I redid it again. But I like the 05 to 07 frame because it's a little bit stronger with these. You can see there's a support here, and then the cross member looks a little bit bigger than what's stock. But other than that, you can do it the other way and just drop the axle. But that's my little teaching moment.
This thing worked. It's been sitting for what, 2 years? And we got it running just by putting gas in it.
Yeah.
It had gas. Oh, we just put a battery in it. We got it to run, but it was kind of only running on choke. It needs fresh fuel and it needs the carb clean. But this thing was zipping around pretty good.
You got it? There it goes. All right, what do you say we get this yellow truck worked on? Yeah, started, hopefully. Maybe be starter in at least.
We got a really bad comment. I don't know how we're going to live with ourselves that we messed up this step.
We'll just take them off anyways.
Yeah, we were going to remove them anyway. It's weird, these lifts, well specifically this truck is flat, so our maneuverability in here is very limited. We can only really roll it. Say we had to go up another foot, we can only use the skid steer to be able to move it. Obviously because the tires are flat. But these lifts are also, it's funky in some different vehicles to find that solid point of contact, be able to pick it up. So here, unfortunately, it's literally right there. And even with the kickers flipped up, it still hits the steps. And the body's a little bit higher than the cab, so you got to find that sweet spot for both pickups on each side.
Yeah,
and then
so you got to take into consideration the weight distribution.
Yeah, the weight, because you got an engine in the front, you got this giant box on the back. And with it being a gasoline engine, you can stick your arms in here. There's not too much going on.
It is a V10, so it's a little bit bigger. But
yeah, but in terms of like a 7.3, a 6.0, a 6.4, like...
Some acorns in the hood?
Sounds like it. Like a 7.3's up to here.
Yeah.
With AC compressor, alternator up to this height and that turbo and everything. This side, you could stick your leg down to the ground if you had to. My opinion, they should take these motors and they should just dump every single one of them in the trash. Yeah. I guess 20 years old, you can't complain. Whether it has 39,000 miles like this truck does, or 139 or 239,000 miles, it probably worked great for the first 10 years, trouble-free. If you change your oil and did your spark plugs if they didn't break when you were taking them out. But I don't know. I'm just not a fan at all.
Yeah, when they work, but
they're just not as valuable as the diesels, obviously. But when you do have to work on them, the parts are expensive. And if you break a spark plug down in one of the cylinder heads, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
And then
exhaust manifold.
Yeah, they
bolts.
sound terrible. These are not good sounding engines. Even like when they're run like they're supposed to, they don't sound good.
Just rather hear the rumble.
Yeah.
Diesel. The body's actually in really good shape except for a couple of the doors where all the moisture sits. But the shelves are all in perfect shape.
The bottom
What's
one's
up with
falling
these
out a little
batteries?
bit.
Look, there's 2 batteries.
They had 2 accessory batteries. Oh, they have a power converter in there, an inverter.
This is in perfect shape. But the color, I don't know.
It was white. We determined that.
It was originally white.
Yeah, it
they
was
sprayed
white.
right over the hinges and everything.
Anyways, though, show them the starter. This is one thing that I hate about all these gas motors.
This starter?
This starter is impossible.
So it's gonna sit like this.
I forget how it sits.
I think
in
it's
there.
like this.
One of the bolts is almost unreachable.
top.
You got to kill
It's not
yourself to
like
get
this,
it out.
I don't think.
Yeah.
It's like this, I believe, underneath. But this one's a pain in the butt. So what we usually do is, starter goes bad in one of these Tritons. You get extensions with swivels to get this top bolt if you're really trying to save the starter. We bought this on Amazon, right? So there's no core needed to return it.
Yeah.
We take the first 2 out that we can get out in about 2 seconds, and the third one, we just hit the starter with a sledgehammer and break the starter itself, leaving the tab, so now we can come up here and with the gun and just zip it right out.
Yeah. The hard part is getting it out. Getting it in is, once it's
Piece of cake.
It's easier to get it in. It's just getting it broken free.
Yeah.
All right, give it a go. Give it a go. All right, go. All right, go ahead. Nice.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good solid wrap up on this for now. And Luna checks out today. And Zoe's not here, but she also says goodbye.
Yeah, Zoe's sleeping. She's shot from running around here like a crazy kook all week.
Luna, come up here. Come here. Come up. It's a good girl. Good. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.